Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, sublime, wonderful individual. Today, today, we are going, I am going to speak about meditation, observation of self in silence, and also observing ourselves as we would observe any other human being. Well, that is kind of a requirement, really, so that we don't go do something in a somnambulistic sleep that we are criticizing others for, becoming a hypocrite. To actually sit within your own being, knowing yourself, knowing what comes out of your inner being in silence, allows you to anchor yourself into the moment of now. From the moment of now, we can contemplate many different things and go to many different areas in clear, conscious observation. We are not meant to, not in the Western world at least, we are not meant to meditate and lose ourselves away in a trance or in a dream state where you don't remember anything. We are meant to truly sit conscious within our own being, observing ourselves, working into our own being, morals, love, and wisdom. When you work upon your being by observing yourself, you are kind of sculpting yourself, building new organs for the future. It truly is about, well, you are your own coach, trainer, parent, and anything that you can consider a mentor. And from within you and, well, also from above you, you have help to do so. We never do this completely alone. That is impossible. Since we, well, both our body, astral, and our etheric, and our ego in that regard are all built by higher powers. And the ego is given to us by the most sublime. And to truly grab a hold onto this, using your center ego to be an observer, neutral observer. Of course, we do have opinions and connotations and commentary on certain things, likes, dislikes, pains, pleasures, love, passion, and so on. When you are conscious of these, you can either choose to act on it or choose to not and work upon it instead. That is the difference. By working upon your inner faculties, both for the light and for the shadows, balancing in and transforming to a full, whole human being, requires us to have self-observation, knowing what we have in faculties as human beings, at least in concept, so that we can, well, explore and observe them through reality, of course. Since when we speak concept, we speak pictures of a certain reality. It is symbolized as certain reality. But to be able to experience it in direct reality requires meditation. It requires us to stand strong and steady in the present moment. From the present moment, you can contemplate the future, the goals, the aspiration you might want to achieve in this life, maybe in the next life even. Also contemplate and reflect on the past. And you do it consciously from here, and you know you're here, and you know the future is not here. But it is, because you work towards the future when you work here. And you know the past isn't here, but at the same time it is, because when you look back to the past, reflect upon it, and giving it new meaning, more or less. You give your own opinion a new connotation to your past, making your past a blessing rather than a curse. You are working upon your past now. We cannot go back to the past and either wisp away something or remove. It is part of us. It is the karma we have. And that is the karma we have to work with. With grace from the higher realms, from the Christ, Father, Holy Spirit, we can balance, transform, and purify. It really is about wanting to. It really is about longing to do so. Longing to not be out of control. Longing to not be, some lower being, And that is why We constantly cultivate, practice. The way a person only gains muscles by constantly straining, constantly practicing, constantly shoving that cart up that hill, building on more stones for every new stage you have reached. You see, this world is in constant, every single part of this earth is in constant movement. Every single part of this universe is in constant change and movement. Guided by wisdom and a will. Guided by rhythm and guided by will. The world is in constant movement. So if, hang on a second. Everything you see around you is movement. All the different shapes and forms you see is rhythm, different rhythms. And will is, well, where we're going, and it has a certain instructor to it. Nothing can just pop up by itself randomly. It will only be a blob of weird cells. It doesn't have any, you see, that is randomness. But this is not randomness. It never was, never will be. If you see around you how marvelously constructed architectural cosmic forms that you can observe is kind of amazing. At least from my perspective. You can choose to have a different perspective on the matter, and that is where freedom comes in. You can choose to hate everything. You can choose to rip everything apart and have that same feeling within your body, which is so healthy. Or you can find things to uplift you, to transform you, to truly give this world and your life a worthiness to live. You know, life is worth living. So by observing yourself in silence and getting to detoxify yourself from being addicted to stimuli, constant stimuli, constant outside consumption, constant outside eating. Consumerism. By sitting within your being present, being able to be grateful for the present moment. You don't wish to be anywhere else right now. That is the difference. You do not wish to, I want to do something, this is boring, I am jaded, you get my drift. It really is about grabbing a hold onto what is important. What is important to you? You need to find that out for yourself. When you have reached a certain stage in spiritual science, I promise you, the rules and laws and so on, there are reasons why we follow them. There are reasons why something is allowed and other things are not allowed in spiritual science and esoteric practice. Because we do damage and we infuse lower nature into what we otherwise are practicing that should be pure and should be loving. That is why it is so important to uphold extreme strict rules and discipline when it comes to this. Our inner longing is to not lead people astray. It is not to lie, it is not to front, it is not to be something you're not. It is truly to grab a hold of what's inside you, what's you, what comes out of you, not what we believe is there. And that you can only do through observation, experimenting and exploring it. You cannot take others' words for it. We are all different in that regard and have different moods, different weaknesses, different shadows, different strengths. And that is how God made us, and that is how we are meant to cultivate further. But we are not meant to isolate ourselves further. Not individual bubbles where we are all separate from each other, no. But we are all, imagine an ocean of many small drops, and all of these drops have unique colorings to them, every single one, and they all are one glittering, beautiful ocean. That is what we are working towards. We all know we are this beautiful, beautiful ocean, but we also know that we are an individual. We never lose ourselves to either or. That is the balance. That is the balance between, losing yourself to the world and losing yourself away from the world. Always participate, always have activity within your inner being. By you purifying your own inner activity, getting to appreciate and be grateful, humble towards your own life and your own being, is when you truly can come to be a more sincere, honest, loving, uplifting, and inspirational human being. It really is about that longing. It really is about that longing for God, the Christ, and the Holy Spirit. I have that constantly, and before I, had my experiences of things, which is highly intimate and personal, I thought that my longings were, I constantly needed to consume. I constantly needed to have something to distract this away, to constantly satisfy it, that itch, that hollow, void gnaw. Once I found the divine, once I found spiritual work, that hole, that void is filled to the brim. You open the door and it can never be closed again. You can never shed something you have gained through struggle. You can try to forget it. You can try to push it away. But it is part of you. It is part of your being. And I will leave you with that. And I love you so much, and I wish for you to awaken to your own strengths, your own personality, your own I, your own, and God's will, of course. Will of Christ. The impulse of Christ. For Philadelphia, siblinghood of love. Community of true brotherly and sisterly love. May Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, Urifiel, Anael, Zachariel, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, every 7 planetary archangels bless you, protect you. May the Elohim and the Archai all bless you. May the higher hierarchies also bless you. And may you be loved. Thank you so much. Love you all. Goodbye.